can smile, but it don't last long. I break in pieces just to stay strong. They pick and choose, but never me. Like I'm not worth the air to breathe. Tired of being patient, tired of being still. Tired of silence, tired of trying to chill. What's the point of dreams if they don't come true? What's the point of hope if I always lose? I'm never the one they want, never the choice they make. I'm never the love they keep, just the one they choose to break. Not the job, not the girl, not the name they call. Always, almost, or never at all. But I just want to be more than maybe. Want to feel like someone could save me. But I'm never the one. I'm never the one. I just want to be more than maybe. Want to feel like someone could save me. But I'm never the one. I'm never the one. Scroll through winds that I ain't never known. I quiet in my room alone. Light inside, but it dim each day. From all the doors that never look my way. I give my best and still I get less. Like I am cursed or a second guess. Am I invisible or just not good enough? Is being soft just a little too much? I see the shining, but I stay in shade. I dream in color, but I live in gray. Trying to hold on, my grip is weak. Praying the skies hear me when I speak. I see them shining, but I stay in shade. I dream in color, but I live in gray. Trying to hold on, my grip is weak. Praying God hears me when I speak. Cause I just want to be more than maybe. Want to feel like someone could save me. But I'm never the one. I'm never the one. I just want to be more than maybe. Want to feel like someone could save me. But I'm never the one. I'm never the one.
We're back. Truth Unfolded, and your host, Jordan. I am here. Funny story, though. I was at the end of this episode, about 35 minutes, right? And then my computer told me that there wasn't enough storage. I guess because I had a video and an audio recording at the same time. And everything disappeared. You know, I was frustrated, right? I was truly frustrated because I'm like, I come back after 3 years making a podcast episode, and then this happens. I almost didn't record this again, but you know, it's probably the perfect way to begin an episode called The Fall Off. Now, for those of you who may not know, I am a huge fan of J. Cole, the artist, the rapper, hip hop's greatest, you know, all that jazz. But as far as the reason to fall off is the name, I mean, I've been gone for a while. Some people probably think I fell off. They stopped seeing episodes. They stopped seeing posts. They probably thought, you know, life happened, or probably they didn't even care. You know, everybody's got their life. So I wanted to know, and I challenged myself, what if falling off really isn't falling off? You know? People might think it's like losing followers, it's like losing money, losing relationships, a lot of opportunities. But what if it's really losing what you thought you were going to be to gain or to become what you needed to be? It's like transformation. And sometimes Transformation is mistaken for failure when it's the other way around. So, I'm going to talk about a couple of situations where things really fell off. So, just bear with me because I miss you guys. I miss making these episodes. I miss having this happen. So, we're back. So, the first fall off is the one of identity. I consider myself a smart person. I consider myself very intelligent. You feel me? I know words. I know how to make sentences. I know how to make complete thoughts happen and form them together. But sometimes, you can be too smart for your own good, where you can make your intended party miss the whole message, and then everybody's looking stupid. Intelligence, then I realized it's not something you become, it's what you are. But it wasn't faking. That was just who I am. And even when people tried to test my intelligence or test my personality and everything, I always felt like I had to prove myself. Especially the last couple of years where I felt like people were really coming at me on social media for a lot of my posts. I felt like I had to prove myself. And I felt like I always had to have the right answer for everything. No matter what argument came my way, I always thought, I have to make sure that whatever retort I give is correct. And for the most part, they were correct. But you wonder, like, what battle are you winning? Because sometimes the people that are giving you these retorts are not even here to have a decent argument with you. They're just here to distract you. They couldn't care less. And then you realize you're chasing an identity instead of a purpose. And you think, man, maybe what I'm doing is not enough. But then you got to ask yourself, who are you becoming because you're afraid of not being enough? Because it's sure not who you are. You got to change that. You got to realize that people are going to love you or hate you regardless. And you got to be you at the end of the day. So remember that and believe that. But fall offs are not just personality wise, yo. Financially, it is a pain. Oh my gosh. These last couple of years have been rough. Going from place to place, thinking I have my finances together, thinking I have a plan together, and then all of a sudden that plan falls flat on its ass. And I'm just like, bruh, what in the hell? You can't lose for winning. And there have been some times where I felt like I can't lose for winning. I do everything right and it fails. Going from one place to another, thinking I have all the funds right, and then something happens. An emergency happens, a car incident happens, folks need money for this, somebody needs money for that. Because I don't want to see my loved ones suffer, I gotta help them. And I'm thinking, I can make it back. Because for those people who don't know, I do rideshare on the side. Drop people off from point A to point B. And there were some days where the rides were low, some days where people weren't out. And I got tired. I mean, you can't do it all the day. You gotta make sure your car is right. Not to mention, having a job in sales is not for the weak of the heart. Not for the weak of heart, mind you. I'm telling you, bro, it was rough. There were some days where people weren't coming in, and you still have to make commission. And we didn't do cold calls. So every single person that came in that day, even if it was one person, you had to make sure that sale counted. And they could just be in there to test things out, but you have to make sure, find a way to get them that sale. Otherwise, you get got at the end of it all. And trust me, I definitely had that happen to me. Uber struggles, car fixings, repair bills. Even when I was moving, I've had to pivot multiple times. There were times where I had to, I had to live in somebody else's place. I had to live in a red roof for a couple of weeks, almost 2 months. And I did it with pride. I didn't like it, but I did it with pride because Red Roof has always treated me well when I was in between places or when I was on a little mini vacation when I was dating last. You know, I didn't like it, but they had a free heating situation. They gave towels and everything, so it was what it was. It was quite a fall off from where I was, but you find your way back up. And then when I had my sales job last, Christmas 2024, good Lord. I just purchased a car at that time, mind you. A good 2018 Nissan Altima, right? Barely had 60K miles on it. It was really looking nice, all dialed up to the heavens. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, new year, new goals on the sales job, make this work, make it happen. Got a year under my belt. We about to get it, about to do it big. 2 days after Christmas, send me my pink slip while I'm working. And I was caught off guard with this. Mind you, I was in a store where you could barely sell anything anyway because it was a recession. People were struggling. Even in that affluent neighborhood I was in, people were struggling. If it wasn't the summertime, people were struggling. And mind you, I was cleaning up the place, doing everything right, but yet it wasn't working. And it really threw me off guard and it really had me lost for words. And I was about to go do Uber afterwards. I said, you know what? I gotta make some money. I gotta do Uber. Come to find out, God was just saying, nah, bruh, slow down. Go home, get you some rest. Because I was always on go mode. And sometimes when you're always on go mode, you don't have time to think. You don't give yourself time to think. And you need to rest. It was really quite the fall off. You feel me? I didn't like it. And the search for getting a job is always rough when you're getting off of a job because it takes about 3 months before you find something new. Multiply that 3 by 3. That was my situation. From December 2024 to September 2025, your boy had no W-2 work. I was working straight Uber and Lyft. Out there getting it any way I could. From sun up to sundown. So if you didn't see me, that was why. I was still applying for places. I was doing the best I could. But these places weren't hiring. These places weren't accepting my application. But your boy still had to make it. It wasn't pretty at all. People wondering how I had so much joy doing it. I mean, driving is something I love to do, but under the circumstances I was in, it wasn't the best case, but I had a way. And sometimes you find gems amongst rubble, amongst coal that you're digging through because of the pressure that's put on it. And I was under so much pressure. Mind you, still having to make rent and still having to make bills and car notes. So yeah, your boy was really going through it. And going through it in the worst way possible. But I couldn't ask for help because I got myself into this mess. People have jobs, people got lives, people got kids, families to take care of. Like, unless I really needed the help, I wasn't going to ask because I had to get myself out of the mess I was in. But that year, 2025, happened to be the craziest year of my life because financially, it was the year I made the most money. I almost made 100 bands gross. Bruh. When I saw my taxes, I said, I did not believe that I made that amount. But it was just hard work, especially when your back is against the wall. Pause. You got to really do what you got to do. And I did what I had to. I mean, I had a mental health job later in the year, like middle of September, starting October. But besides that, I was doing Uber and Lyft. I had to make do with what I had. And it wasn't pretty, but it got done. There were moments where I questioned everything that was happening. Like, even with doing Uber, money is unstable at times, but my purpose wasn't. I knew that there was a means to an end at the end of it all, and that was worth finding. Like, regardless of what was happening, I knew I still had to keep on going, and I did. I mean, and fall offs don't just stop there. I mean, it goes into relationships too. And bruh, those relationships are rough. It could be dating relationships, it could be friendships, work ones, family ones, whatever. Learning how to communicate what you feel when things are rough, when things are not understandable, when situations present themselves where you have to let the person know how what they said made you feel, especially if it hurt you. Learning how to ask about what you want and not feel like it's too much. Learning that you deserve the consistency that you give others. And you don't have to give grace to people who don't give grace to you. For the longest time, I've been always the consistent person in relationships, always giving the person the attention I believe that they deserve, because I want the same attention given back, because I genuinely am that person. And at times, I tried to rationalize why people were having trouble, whether it be attachment problems, whether it be problems with their family, problems with work. But I realized that's giving them an excuse. People will make room for what they want to make room for in their life. People will care for whom they want to care for, how they want to care for in their life, if they deem it valuable. And I could not continue to keep on having that same thing happen. So boundaries had to be developed. Even when close bonds were tested and close bonds had to be separated, boundaries had to be made. Like, you can't just tell to me any old way. I got feelings too. It was rough. And the main thing, well, two main things: reciprocity. One of my close principles I keep to me is normal reciprocity. I give what I desire to give back. I give you love, and that's what I desire back, especially because I know it ain't cheap to give it. It may not cost anything tangibly, but mentally, spiritually, and dedicating yourself to it, yes, it does. But there was some times where I was giving, and I was giving out the cup I had, and even when there was nothing there, I had to make it come out of thin air. And times where my cup was empty and somebody else's was full, and you can't pour out of an empty cup. There was some times where it hurt, especially caring for people when they didn't care for you. They didn't realize it, but I realized people do. They know. You can't give people but so much rope to hang themselves off of. And then sometimes you just gotta let them go, because you know what you deserve. You deserve better. And the other thing was not depending on certainty, because things can change at a moment's notice. Somebody could love you one moment and then they leave you the next. You thought everything was certain, but it's not. But the one thing you must gain out of everything is clarity. And people give you enough to make things very clear on where they stand. So when you stop chasing certainty and you start chasing clarity, the fall off starts ending there. And then there's the ego. You know, you don't need to win every single time. Every battle does not involve you or need you to win. You gotta know when to just let people, do what they do. You don't have to convince everybody about your argument. The truth will take care of itself. That was something I had to learn the hard way, because there were so many times where I felt like I was not being heard or listened to or respected in certain instances. I gave quotes, claims, things that were happening, and people just brushed it off as, oh, you don't know, oh, you don't have the experience, yada yada yada. But I wound up being right. And I learned that you don't have to convince everybody. Let time do its work, because time is the best teller. Sometimes you might be wrong, and that's okay. It's the humility of it all. It's the name of the game. But it also gives you growth and learning that you don't always have to have a last word. Let time speak for you. And there was a fall off of illusions. You know how we grow up, we gain all these things about these opinions about how life's supposed to go, especially when it comes to dating, how we succeed in life, friendships and careers. You know, we're supposed to get our spouse, 2 kids, 2.5 kids, picket fence, and all that jazz. You come to find out that it's not a linear pathway. You think it is, especially if you're doing right, but you find out that there are so many bumps and bruises. People will do you wrong. You got to learn how to get up from that. Whew. I remember talking to somebody, and this was long distance, mind you. In long distance, all you got is trust. And that person violated the trust. And they spent the block because they thought they were wrong, and they said they were going to try and make it right. And they couldn't even last 2 weeks. It was a shame. It really just thwarted my opinion on a lot of things. People are people. Once they tell you who you are the first time, believe them. Success is not linear. There will be bumps and bruises. Sometimes you got to start over again, and it ain't fun. Sometimes you got to take a whole different detour where you're in a room that you never thought you'd be in. Like, this ain't the room that I was supposed to be in, but it'll lead you to success. It'll lead you to where you need to be. Friendships. Some friendships end. Some friendships need time to separate so both parties can grow and then get back to a point where they're able to respect one another. But friends to the end, it's not always the case. People grow apart. Careers goes back to that success piece. You have an idea of how life's supposed to go, and then all of a sudden, boom, it says, yeah, take that detour from me. And sometimes it hurts when you see these things, and it's like an illusion on a linear path. Like, losing that illusion, that does hurt, but it makes so much room for truth. And you just discover a lot of things afterwards. Like, I started discovering that my career path, I've been fading the marriage and family therapy path for quite some time because I grew out of love for it because of just how people were acting in general online, especially at seeing how therapists were kind of capitalizing off of content creation instead of just sticking to their craft trying to help people. It made me lose a lot of love for it and a lot of respect for it because I felt like it was just a grab at that time, a big money grab. But then I had to realize that's their path. I gotta follow my path. And lo and behold, a couple of shows I see nowadays, a couple of things I'm seeing in life, especially people having struggles with marriages and they're not saying anything. I said I'm getting that energy back when it comes to wanting to become a marriage and family therapist. The licensing takes forever. Classes take forever, but I'm at that point where I think it's time to get back into that zone because it's my calling. Something I've been looking at for quite some time. And there's less than 2% of us, people like me, black men, as marriage and family therapists that are licensed. So it's bigger than me. And that's what she said as well. So that's a path that I'll be getting into more details as time goes on. As far as what I'm doing now, I'm a mental health professional still in training. Got a few more 100 hours of supervision before I become an official licensed one. Well, qualified mental health professional, Working on this podcast, getting back into the swing of things. This is the first episode after 3 years. So kudos to myself. Kudos to myself for having the energy to come back and do this. Because sometimes, you just don't have it. There have been times where I wanted to record and I had everything out, but I just felt like, I'm not even going to lie to you. I felt like people weren't going to listen. I felt like people weren't listening. I felt like people low key just thought that what I was doing wasn't worth it. They thought it was trash. Got very few little remarks on it. People see it, they brush it off, barely listen to it. I'm thinking it's not reaching people. But my bro who's doing the bid right now, he talked to me and said, "Yo, why have you stopped recording?" And I said, "I felt like nobody was listening to what I was saying." But he said, "I was listening to it." And sometimes all it takes is one person. And I'll give you a scenario. I have a Substack. So under the same name, Truth Unfolded.substack.com. Go ahead, check it out. Some different writing pieces. If you have 11 subscribers, imagine you in a room, a round desk of 11 people. Doesn't sound that small now, does it? 11 people entrenched in what you are putting out there. So just got to keep going. Sometimes purpose whispers long before it speaks. And sometimes it'll take a vacation, but it'll circle back when it's time to. And I realized maybe falling off wasn't really me falling off. Maybe like a tree, I was being pruned. I mean, a tree after pruning, it doesn't look impressive, but it has to grow. It's empty, but it has time to grow. Yeah, need that preparation. Kind of like with J. Cole with this album, he felt like this was his MO, his best work yet, even better than the 2014 Forest Hills Drive. And we all know how Forest Hills Drive is. Double platinum, no features. To get back to that mode, he had to go through some things personally. Some albums probably didn't make it as much as he might have wanted to. But I think he felt the love for the craft again through this album. So, just like he felt the love through the craft to get that album, I'm falling back in love with the podcast to create more episodes. And this is the first of many. But to the audience, whoever's listening to this, I want to thank you. I really want to thank you for taking your time to listen to all of this, And if you hear the theme song, shout out to the artist that allowed me to use her song. Her name is Puff Rose. I'll give her credits in the description. It's called Never Enough. Listen to the lyrics. It gives a bit of description of how I've felt over the past couple of years when it came to this. But it's a beautiful song, beautiful instrumental. I found it over the fall last year, and I've been with it ever since. Audience, let me know. What have you lost in your process of growing or in the process of falling off? What identity are you still trying to carry that now you're realizing that you need to let go of to grow? And what if this season isn't destroying you? What if it's introducing you to something new? It may look like a fall off, but what if it's just the beginning? People thought I fell off because they stopped seeing me. But the truth is, I was becoming someone that they hadn't met yet. Maybe so are you. Until next time, this is Jordan from Truth Unfolded. I'm out. Y'all be easy.
Something old. I pray, I try, but smile, but it don't last long. I break in pieces just to stay strong. They pick and choose, but never me. Like I'm not worth the air to breathe. Tired of being patient, tired of being still. Tired of silence, tired of trying to chill. What's the point of dreams if they don't come true? What's the point of hope if I always lose? I'm never the one they want, never the choice they make. I'm never the love they keep, just the one they choose to break. Not the job, not the girl, not the name they call. Always, almost, or never at all. But I just want to be more than maybe. Want to feel like someone could save me. But I'm never the one. I'm never the one. I just want to be more than maybe. Want to feel like someone could save me. But I'm never the one. I'm never the one. Scroll through winds that I ain't never known. I quiet in my room alone. Light inside, but it dim each day. From all the doors that never look my way. I give my best and still I get less. Like I am cursed or a second guess. Am I invisible or just not good enough? It's being soft, just a little too much. I see the shining, but I stay in shade. I dream in color, but I live in gray. Trying to hold on, my grip is weak. Praying the skies hear me when I speak. I see them shining, but I stay in shade. I dream in color, but I live in gray.